So in this video I will show you how to create a thematic map based on some data that we have. I will do it in my loss of ignition layer. So the thematic maps are hidden on the map, and then create a thematic map. There's many kinds. You can do it based on ranges of polygons. You can also do it based on individual polygons. In my case, if I choose, for example, individual polygons, it would probably tell me that I have too many individual values to do it, but we can just test. You can also do it as a dot density or as a grid definition for raster files and pi. You can also do a chart out of your statistics. We will try first to do it. I won't try that. Well, I can try the individual range. If you go next, then it probably, yes, you see, it's telling me that there is too many individual values, so it cannot give me a value for each, or a color for each value, which makes sense. Because I have a lot of grids with interval and they are loss of ignition, and I want to compare my loss of ignition in a context, for example, whether eelgrass can anchor or not anchor within this context, then it would make good sense to use ranges, because then I can define what range would I have for eelgrass to anchor or not anchor, or so and so on and so forth. If I use these three ranges, for example, then yeah, you have to specify which table are you working with and which column are you focusing in, and whether you want to ignore all of the zeros. I don't, because a zero is a true zero in theory. I have three values with three colors, but you can change that. So in order to change your ranges, if you go to here, you have the same as we have learned for ArcGIS. Here the only thing is that you don't have the visual histogram for each. Histograph, sorry, no, yeah. But if you, for example, would choose natural breaks and then a number of ranges that you want, let's say 5, or we're working for 3, so let's say 3, then you have to click recalculate, and then the program based on the natural breaks will give you 3 ranges: 0.2 to 3.8, 3.8 to 10.8, and 10.8 to 18. If you would like to use some statistical units to calculate how your ranges should be divided, you can use standard deviation, or you can use quartiles, and you always have to recalculate. But you also have the function of custom make it, also based on 3 ranges. Let's say, and this doesn't have to be necessarily true, that my eelgrass can only anchor with for example, up to 2% of loss of ignition. Then I could make a place where, like a light cross, where I have a minimum of 0 to, I said 2, let's say 2, and then the next one then should be from 2 to, I don't know, 5. Like I say, you have to figure out by yourself the values. I'm only trying to show you how to create a thematic map. And then the next range would be from 5 to, and there it would be a good idea that you have an idea of how your loss of ignition file looks like, so that you have the entire range. That is the last one. I haven't looked at it actually, so I will set as 100, although I know that it will never be 100, but let's see. Then you recalculate, and then it tells you that you have 40% of the values are in this category, and then 3% within the threshold category, and then 57% within the killing category, we can say. So we say OK. And now let's say we want to rearrange the colors to do it like a true light color. So red will mean kill, green will mean leave, and then light green we can turn it into, for example, yellow, which will mean it will struggle a lot. Like I say, disregard these numbers for your assignment. This is only an example. Yes, I want to replace my styles, and when you click OK, it will transform your map. If you double click in your map, you can still modify it. And now you see that I can see all the grids of my model, so I don't want to do that. I would prefer that you don't see any borders, although it's a little bit, yeah, it could sometimes be misleading because this data is based on a model. So basically it is based on this grid distribution. If you remove the grids, then you are kind of telling the reader that you might have another background data for what you're showing. But it creates a nicer map, and as long as you explain what are you doing and what are the grounds of your report or your research, then you're good. So now you can see that the corners of the polygons have disappeared, and I have this map. When you create a thematic map, you see that it's like a layout that is overimposed to your actual data. So now we haven't at all changed our data. We are only visualizing in a certain way, and the program creates this template that overimposes. If we do another thematic map, for example, we want to do a pie chart with our data. I prefer colors on this. Then basically it's the same. We want to do it with the loss of ignition, actually with a different map. We want to do it with this map, and then we want to do it based on the mean. We go next, and we want to change colors. We want to do 3 colors. Oh. Yeah, of course the number of columns is only 1 because our pie only have 1 column.